From the National Newsroom of the Canadian Press, I'm Karen Rebo. The UN Agency for Palestinian Refugees in Gaza is teetering on the brink of financial collapse. Its chief says without more funds, it might have to halt operations at the end of February. Israel's allegations that 12 employees of the aid agency known as UNRWA participated in the deadly October Hamas attacks in southern Israel shook the organization last month. Several countries, including Canada, suspended funding worth $440 million. Almost half the agency's annual budget, while the UN investigates. The European Union is due to make an $88 million payment at the end of this month, but it wants UNRWA audited first. 2 of 4 men charged with conspiracy to commit murder in a Canada-U.S. border blockade case in Alberta have pleaded guilty to lesser charges. They were charged in 2022, accused of conspiring to kill police officers during the Coutts border protest against COVID vaccine mandates and other pandemic restrictions. A former RCMP intelligence official is slated to learn his fate today after being convicted of breaching Canada's secrets law.
Ontario Superior Court Justice Robert Moranger is set to hand a sentence to Cameron J Oris, found guilty in November of violating the Security of Information Act. Oris, 51, led the RCMP's Operations Research Group, which assembled and developed classified information on cybercriminals, terror cells, and transnational criminal networks. The Crown says Oris should be sentenced to decades behind bars, while his lawyers want a much lighter penalty. Jim Bronskill, The Canadian Press, Ottawa.
A Leduc, Alberta teenager who is planning to walk out of class today to protest Alberta's proposed policies around transgender youth says for him this is personal. 16-year-old Aspen Servo says his 13-year-old brother is transgender.
He's been waiting for gender-affirming care for 2 years now, and since these policies are going to make him have to wait until he's at least 16, he's going to have to wait another 2 years.
Servo says he's in touch with students at other schools who say they will also walk out of class for a half hour or more to oppose UCP Premier Danielle Smith's proposed changes. And the British invasion began on this day 60 years ago with the U.S. arrival of the Beatles.
3,000 screaming teenagers are at New York's Kennedy Airport.
After their Pan Am flight landed at JFK International, the Fab Four attended their first American press conference and then immediately had to answer questions about their hair.
Did you hope to get a haircut at all?
No, thanks. I had one yesterday.
And then,
ladies and gentlemen, the Beatles!
2 days later, this was the moment that really cemented the new wave of long hair, cute boy bands in the British invasion, the Beatles appearing on The Ed Sullivan Show February 9th, 1964, in front of 73 million viewers. Danny New, ABC News, New York.
This is the Canadian Press. In sports, there are 3 games in the NHL tonight, including one in Toronto, where the Maple Leafs will host the Dallas Stars. Chandler Stevenson scored the go-ahead goal in the third period. Aiden Hill stopped 30 shots, and the Vegas Golden Knights brought an end to the Edmonton Oilers' impressive 16-game winning streak. They beat the Oilers 3-1 in Sin City. Edmonton was looking to tie the 1992-93 Pittsburgh Penguins for the longest NHL winning streak of 17 games. There are 7 games in the NBA tonight, including one between the visiting Toronto Raptors and the Charlotte Hornets. The Raptors have lost 3 straight. The Hornets, 1 spot behind the Raptors in the East, have lost 8 in a row. And according to the American Gaming Association, nearly 68 million American adults plan to bet on this year's Super Bowl, which is being played Sunday in Las Vegas. The San Francisco 49ers are favored to beat the defending champion Kansas City Chiefs. From the Canadian Press, I'm Karen Rebo.